Recently, K-pop Demon Hunters videos have been among the most watched content on the channel. And honestly, the more I read the comments, the more clearly I noticed one thing. People are genuinely excited for the second movie. Under our reviews of the first film and the news videos about the sequel, the same expectations keep coming up again and again. Some people are curious about Mira and Zoe's past, some are wondering what happened to Jinu, and others want this universe to be taken to a much bigger place. And there are even a few things that, if the second movie doesn't do them, people might seriously feel disappointed. So let's take a look at what the fandom wants to see the most right now. Number 1. Mira and Zoe's backstories. Now let's talk about the two big doors in HuntrX that still haven't been fully opened. Mira and Zoe. In the first movie, Rumi's story naturally took center stage because her identity, her secret, and her conflict with her demon side were the heart of the film. But let's be honest, Mira and Zoe also left just as strong of an impression on the audience as Rumi did. The problem is, we still know very little about them. And I think one of the smartest things the second movie could do is take these two characters beyond just being the other members of the team and turn them into one of the true emotional centers of the story. Mira especially is the real mystery box of the group. In the first movie, she immediately stood out with that cold, tough, and cool attitude. But in my opinion, what we saw from Mira was only the tip of the iceberg. Characters like this usually have a major loss, broken trust, or a very heavy story they never tell anyone in their past. If the second movie shows why Mira has built so many walls around herself, the character could instantly be taken to a much stronger place. Zoe, on the other hand, stands on the complete opposite side. She's more energetic, funnier, more chaotic, and the character who constantly brings movement to the group. But that's exactly why seeing her in a more serious situation in the second movie could be very powerful. Imagine a scene where a character who is always positive truly breaks for the first time, gets scared, or has to make a huge sacrifice for the team. I think Zoe could really surprise the audience with a story like that. And the best part is this. Giving Mira and Zoe more depth wouldn't just make their characters bigger, it would also make the friendship bond within HuntrX much stronger. In the first movie, the energy between the girls was really beautiful, but in the second movie, that bond needs to be truly tested. Arguments, secrets, wrong decisions, and then finally coming back together again. These are the kinds of scenes that could make the sequel not only more entertaining, but also much more emotional. Number 2. What really happened to Jinu? Now let's talk about the topic everyone is arguing about in the comments. Is Jinu really gone, or is his story only just beginning? The ending of the first movie didn't fully close the door on this. In fact, I think it left it open on purpose. Because Jinu's death or disappearance doesn't just feel like a final moment. It feels like a huge emotional bomb prepared for the second movie. And honestly, the audience is not ready to say goodbye to Jinu. The reason Jinu is being talked about so much isn't just because the character is charismatic. The real issue is the bond he had with Rumi. Their relationship gave the movie a different emotional weight. So if Jinu comes back, his return shouldn't feel like simple fan service. It should be a return that truly changes the story, shakes Rumi, and breaks the audience's heart. Because if a character like this is coming back, the cost has to be big too. For example, instead of Jinu returning exactly the same way, seeing him in a darker form could be much more impactful. Imagine a Jinu standing across from Rumi, maybe recognizing her, but unable to return to who he used to be. Or even more painful, a Jinu who is forced to fight against Rumi. A scene like that could become one of the most unforgettable moments of the second movie. Because while the audience wants him to return, they would also think, I wish he hadn't come back like this. I also think Jinu's story could be used to explain the rules of the demon world. Where do souls go? How does the bond between demons and humans work? Can a character truly return, or is the thing that comes back no longer the same person? If the second movie answers these questions through Jinu, it would strengthen the emotional side while also making the universe much more mysterious and deeper. Number 3. Rumi's family and her demon father. I think Rumi's family could be one of the biggest weapons of the second movie. The first film laid a strong foundation for her identity, but the biggest questions are still on the table. How much did her mother tell her? Who was her father really? And most importantly, is Rumi's demon side just a curse, or is it part of a much bigger destiny? If the sequel goes deeper into these questions, the story could suddenly rise to a much more epic level. One of the theories that keeps coming up in the comments is this. Could Rumi's father actually be the main villain of the second movie? Just imagine it. Rumi enters a dark demon palace and sees her father for the first time. But this isn't a reunion scene. This is the scene where she faces her greatest fear. Her father tells her, "You belong with us," and Rumi has to decide for herself which side she truly belongs to. A scene like that would be seriously powerful. This story would be perfect not just for action, but also for Rumi's internal conflict. Because in the first movie, Rumi was mostly trying to hide her identity. But in the second movie, she no longer needs to run from it. She needs to face it. Instead of suppressing her demon side, she needs to understand it, control it, and maybe even turn it into power. That would take the character to a much more mature place. Rumi's father could also open up the history of the demon world. Details like ancient wars, demon bloodlines, how the hunters first emerged, and whether HuntrX is actually part of a much bigger war could expand the universe in an incredible way. The first movie showed us the door to this world. The second movie needs to open that door all the way. Number 4. A bigger world beyond HuntrX. The first movie made us love HuntrX, but now the audience naturally wants to know this. Are they the only ones in this world? Are there no other demon hunters? Aren't there other groups in other countries, other cities, and other music scenes involved in this war? I think the second movie absolutely needs to expand this universe. Because the idea of K-pop and demon hunting is so creative that telling it through only one group feels a little too small. For example, the idea of other hunter teams from different countries could be incredibly fun. One group could fight through hip-hop, another team could stand against demons with rock energy, and another could use mystical powers through traditional music. This would make the music side more diverse and make the world feel much more alive. Having HuntrX compete with other teams, fail to get along with them, or be forced to work together would add a really nice dynamic to the story. This expansion shouldn't be limited only to good characters either. We need to see more of the demon world too. The first movie had demons, but their order, leaders, plans, and internal power struggles are still very mysterious. The sequel shouldn't just show us creature attacks. It should show us a truly organized, large-scale demon system. That would make the threat feel much more serious. A bigger world also means bigger risks. In the first movie, the story was more personal, but in the second movie, the threat could rise to a global level. Maybe demon attacks spread to different countries, or maybe HuntrX realizes during a world tour that this danger is actually everywhere. A structure like this would connect the music performances to the story in a natural way, while also giving the movie a much more cinematic scale. Number 5. Bigger songs, bigger battles, and stronger emotions. The clearest expectation for K-pop Demon Hunters 2 is this: everything needs to be bigger. The first movie already combined music, action, and animation really well, but the sequel can't just repeat that anymore. We need stronger songs, more creative fight choreography, bigger concert scenes, and heavier emotional moments. Because the first movie set the bar, and the second movie has to break it. I especially think concert battles could be the sequel's biggest weapon. Just imagine it. HuntrX steps onto the stage in a massive stadium. The crowd is screaming, the lights explode, and right in the middle of the performance, a demon attack begins. But this time, the music isn't just the background. It becomes the battle itself. Every note, every dance move, every stage light turns into a power used against the demons. Scenes like that would not leave the audience's mind easily. We also shouldn't forget side characters like Sussy and Derpy here. In the first movie, characters like this added a cute and fun flavor to the universe, but it would be great if the second movie used them more actively too. Maybe they get a small but effective power-up, or maybe they unexpectedly save HuntrX during a battle. Details like that would preserve the humor while adding more color to the action scenes. But most importantly, there has to be real emotion behind all this scale. More explosions, more songs, and more demons alone won't be enough. The audience needs to worry about the characters, feel the possibility of loss, and see that every victory comes with a cost. If K-pop Demon Hunters 2 becomes both visually bigger and emotionally stronger, it could more than satisfy the people who loved the first film. I think expectations for K-pop Demon Hunters 2 are genuinely very high right now, because the first movie made people fall in love not only with the characters, but also with the potential of this universe. Now it's your turn. What do you want to see the most in the second movie? Should Jinu come back? Could Rumi's demon father be the main villain? Or should Mira and Zoe's past be explored more? Make sure to write your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. As new updates come out, we'll keep talking about them. I'll see you in the next video.